referee for passivities is looking for me to control the center of the mat. In other words, if my back is to the center, then I'm controlling the pummeling in most cases. Okay? So you don't want your back to the zone. Okay? So if I'm right here and this guy's right here, I got to control the center. Otherwise, I'm probably going to get worn first, okay, if my back is not controlling the center of the mat. Secondly, underhooks. Everything's about underhooks. Everything's about underhooks. The referee is looking at this guy with the overhook as the offensive wrestler. He's the offensive wrestler, but if he's getting jacked up like this, he's not too offensive, is he?
No.
So he's going to get dinged. He's going to get warned, cautioned, whatever. So everything's underhooks, not overhooks. You don't want to be jacked up and wrestling out of here. I am going to get called for passivity. That's what the referee's looking for. A lot of guys don't understand that. I had a wrestler, Gordy Morgan, made the world team, pummeling the daylights out of the Italian, just pummeling them, and then moving them, pummeling them, moving them, and then moving them, and he would get dinged. Now, why are they calling me, Coach? Because every time you moved them, you put yourself to the zone. If I'm going to move this guy, I'm going to keep my back right here. I'm going to move him right here. I am not going to turn myself to the zone. You have to understand, there's one thing moving them, and then there's another thing looking bad while you're doing it. Okay, so always remember, control the center. Like a boxer controls the ring, a wrestler controls the center here. Okay? Underhooks, and have your back to the center of the mat. Okay? The other thing, anytime you go out of bounds, anytime you go out of bounds with a push out, whatever, guys, I can't tell you, we used to wrestle these rules. Hustle back to the center, cut the man off. Right here. Now the referee's going to blow the whistle, and look at, he's already that much closer to the zone. There's two things you're doing there. You're working the official. You're saying, hey, I'm more aggressor. And you're working your opponent, saying, man, what did this guy drink today? What has he got, Geritol? What's going on? You know, you're the aggressor. Okay, so anytime you go out of bounds, just don't do this. You know, walk back. Hustle back. Cut the center off. Dennis Hall in 1995 won the World Championships on a referee, 3 referees, picked the world champion. Who was the more aggressor wrestler? Every time he went out of bounds, he hustled back. You know what his opponent was doing? He wasn't even in the photo lens. You know, he's rubbing his arms out, he go back, and Dennis Hall's like this, let's go, you know? And he became a world champion just on popularity points on how he looked in that match. He won the official's opinion on who should be a world champion that day. So it's crucial that you do that in these new rules here. Okay? Because the referee, I'm telling you right now, I don't like to say this, but the referee has the power back in their hands to put you on the Olympic team or take you off. They can call that passivity, or they don't have to call that passivity. So it's how you look. You got to sell it. When you have an underhook, yeah, I got an underhook, and he should be called. But you can't have an underhook doing this. Head down. You know, it doesn't look so good now. Here is your underhook, right here. Not head down. You can get dinged for that. They're looking for head position. I was at University Nationals yesterday. Guys with heads down, pushing away, grabbing fingers. They're stopping that. They're dinging you. Okay? And they should. In the scoring at University Nationals this past weekend, it showed that, hey, we're starting to get some scoring on the board. There was 8 periods in New York City. 3 matches, 8 periods, not 1 point scored for me. Not 1 point scored. And 3 matches, 8 periods. There's more points scored in 15 matches than the whole 3 years, last 3 years in Greco. So there's more scoring. You know why? Because the wrestler now is thinking, man, it's not just 1 period, it's 2 periods, and I better score. I better have 6-0 up there instead of a 2-0 lead. Because a takedown is now 2 points. one takedown, you're going to lose the match. Okay, so they're looking for more multiple scores. Instead of one gut wrenches, they're looking at 2 gut wrenches. Instead of a gut wrench, they're looking for a gut wrench and a lift. You never saw that before in the last 4 or 5 years. Okay, so you guys have to really think multiple scoring. Your lungs have to be deeper. You might have a 5-0 lead, but you don't have any lungs. You become a rag doll, a wet noodle, and the guy just comes back on you and he gets back in the match. So you're long, you got to think about longer runs, longer endurance practices, maybe go some 10-minute matches. You know, and it's not a 4-minute match anymore. It's 6 minutes. So your lung capacity has to be higher. Okay? One thing I would point out from the other thing, your feet. You young guys, every world Olympic medalist has a go-to move. It can be an arm drag, it can be a high dive, it can be an arm throw, it can be whatever. They have a go-to move from their feet. They don't hit 1,000 moves. They hit this 1 or 2 techniques that they're very, very good on, that they can hit on anybody at any given time in a match. And it might be in the last 30 seconds of that match, but that's why they're world and Olympic champions. Because they got this hat move, and USA, Bill's been coaching teams. You know, we talked about it, the Jim Martinez's, the Dennis Kozlowski's, the Michael Foys. I mean, every one of our world Olympic medalists, they were known for something. We got to get that back. You guys got to create your own technique. That makes it you. That's your technique. The guy knows it's coming, but you still get it. That's what makes you become world Olympic champions. Okay? Parterre. One thing I want to point out right here is you're going to see more escapes. More escapes. I see guys do this all the time. You got to get down here, ready to wrestle. Chest close to his back, boom, ready to go. Okay? Because if you're not, he's going to catch you sleeping, and he's going to stand up. You'll be like that, boom, he's up. And now you lost your chance. Okay, and I'll give you one little story here. Mark Fuller. Mark Fuller, from here, Bill coached him, 3 Olympic teams. 3 Olympic teams. His go-to move was an arm throw. Very good on his arm throw. But he was weaker defending that reverse lift. And he wrestled the Korean at the World Championships, and he's beating the Korean 8-1. 8-1. Then the Korean gets a passivity on him. At the end of the regulation, Mark goes down, the guy reverse lifts him, and the next time I looked at the score, it was like 15-8. You never know the guy's strength. His strength might not be his feet. His strength might be on the mat. Never give that guy the opportunity. Never give him the opportunity to get to his strength. So anytime you can close the match out, be active, keep wrestling. I mean, he might not be good on his feet. He might have the gut wrench that he can gut wrench anybody. But you gave him that opportunity right now, right then, to score and win. So you guys have to realize that. You don't know the guy's strength. Maybe you do. But don't give him that opportunity. Okay, always keep wrestling. Find ways to win, close out your matches. I got wrestlers in my room, unfortunately, and they're good. They're top 6 in the country. I'm not going to mention any names because I know you guys know how to use Facebook now. Okay? But I got guys in my room that are good. And they're afraid to lose. They're afraid to lose. Okay? And what does that mean? Well, they get out there and in practice, they're very, very good. When they get in the match, they don't want to try anything. They're afraid they're going to get caught. Well, those guys are the ones that they need to go find another sport here pretty soon. Because now you have to try some things. Now you have to be active. They're not going to let you close up and just go down on the mat and parterre. So you guys are going to have to change your philosophy and concept on how you train and what you're doing in your room. Okay? You got to be good in all 3 phases. On top, parterre, on bottom, and parterre, and on your feet. Okay? You can't just focus on your feet. Okay? Before it was a 5-minute match. It used to be a 5-minute match, no force parterre. Well, 2/3 of our practice would be on our feet, 1/3 would be on the mat. But now, he takes me down for 2 points, but yet I get on top, I got gun runs twice, I win 4-2. So you never know where the guy, like I said, you got to focus on all three areas. Does everyone understand that?
Yep.
Okay, slip throws. I love the slip throw. I'm glad they brought it back. It gives guys an opportunity. But again, be careful. If I'm right, if I'm taking it